What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got lots of stuff to look at. The lovely Rachel Trimble, her of Rachel's Game Store, has gone and sent me all of the Gamegenic Keyforge accessories. Now, Gamegenic is a company that have literally just released, actually yesterday in Europe, not actually out. They're out in Europe and Canada. They're not actually out in the US for a few days yet. And they're making sleeves, chain trackers, and 3 different types of deck boxes. So Rachel sent them to me and said, Wossy, she didn't call me Wossy, but let's just say. And she said, Wossy, tell me what you think. Review them, make a video, and I went, you know what, Rachel? Yes, I will. So there's an awful lot here. And we're going to start off with what's nice and easy, and we're going to start off with the chain trackers. Now you can see here that there are 7 different chain trackers that have been made, one for each of the houses pre-Worlds Collide. Now with Worlds Collide, of course, we do have 2 new houses, Saurian Republic and the Grand Star Alliance. They're not featured here. And what we have is just an acrylic, a plastic change, and you push down in the middle, he says. There we go. And you just spin it. And it says how many chains you've got. Now, the thing for me really is, you put it down there, and I can see that that's a 2. I want to be able to see on stream how clear this is. That's what I'm always thinking of. And you just go around with how many chains you've actually got, up to 24. More than 24 chains, you might need a second one. But I'm sure we can work with that. They're ever so slightly... No, they're not actually. No, I'm lying to you. It's because I'm trying to keep it on camera easily. They go around nice and easily. They're not going to fall. I like these. Don't get 14 chains. I mean, when it comes to these, right, my advice to you is extremely simple. Please get one. Like, if you're playing on stream or you're playing against me, please just get one. At the moment, we have all kinds of solutions that people go for with dice on top of the deck. And I know we had those cardboard chain trackers. We've had them for a while. We get fancier ones at Vault Tours. I'm sorry, I don't really like them. Not as much as I like these. These are beautiful. They make perfect sense. I love them. They've got nice, clear numbers. It is wonderful. What is also awesome here, if you have a look, you can see that, 8 chains take 2 fewer cards. So not only does it say how many chains you've got, it says how many cards fewer you should take. I love it. They're very reflective. But no, I adore these chain trackers. And if you see me at a tournament, Store Championship in Bristol, just putting that out there, you will see me with one of these chain trackers. Because I'm not giving Rachel the Mars one back. I like Mars. Chain trackers, I'm not going to bother opening and showing you all of them. They're all exactly the same. It's just the artwork. Whether you're going for Grove Keeper or Lamindra or War Drummer, doesn't matter. I'm going Zyzizic Shockworm because I'm a Mars dude. But yeah, they're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. I cannot recommend these highly enough. There we go. So I'm going to put the chain trackers away because I want to just create a little bit more space. Except the Mars one. I'm going to keep the Mars one in the corner there because it's beautiful and I love it. So, now we'll deal with sleeves at the end. In terms of deck boxes, we essentially have 3 choices. We've got the Vault, the deck book, and the deck box, the little one. Now, we'll talk about colours and all in a moment, but let's just start looking at the differences between them. So, if we have a look at the deck book... Oh, no, I'm lying to you, ladies and gentlemen. They're Aries and Gemini. They actually come in 2 different sizes. So, if we start with a little one first, there are so many products around me, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got Aries and Gemini. I think that's what we've got. Right, okay. It would be weird if they came in different colours. So clearly what we have here is 1 deck and 2 decks. That's what we've got going on. So, if we open one of these up, I've got a bunch of sleeve decks. Now, what I've actually done in preparation is I have sleeved up a deck in... And this was Rachel's idea. She deserves all the credit for this. I've got a deck sleeved with Ultra Pro, a deck sleeved with Dragon Shield, a deck sleeved with the new Keyforge sleeves, and a deck double sleeved with the new Keyforge sleeves and the new inner sleeves, so we can really start digging in to exactly what we've got. So here's what they look like. These ones are the easy ones, right? Inside, you get a sticker sheet, and yes, it does have the new houses on. Lovely. And that's where we are, all right? That's what you get. No, the picture didn't just change. You're imagining things. And look, they're short, sweet, to the point. They are a little bit stiff to open. They do close up nicely, but they are a little bit stiffer than I would like opening, but they have to be owing to the design. Now, if we take a regularly sleeved Keyforge deck in the new Keyforge sleeves, this is not double sleeved. Lovely new Keyforge sleeves. We'll get to the sleeves. Then they fit in fairly nicely. You got a little bit of spare room in there. We're doing all right. If we swap it for one which is double sleeved using the new Keyforge sleeves and the new Keyforge inner sleeves, yeah, it's a bit tighter, but it still fits quite nicely. So it'll fit one deck, sleeved or not. You aren't getting two decks in here, ladies and gentlemen. You're just not. If we try them out with, I believe these are the Dragon Shield sleeves, they fit just fine. It fits a deck. Now, in theory, and we'll have to cross our fingers and hope that this works, but I'm willing to believe that this will fit two decks. I'm fairly sure that is the point of them. And once again, inside, we have another sheet of stickers. Now, what we actually have here is a little tray. So, your options essentially are, you can whack two decks in there, and one of these is the double sleeve deck with the inner sleeves, and they fit quite nicely. It works perfectly. The other option is that what you do is you grab all of your tokens, Now, it will fit a chain tracker, and you fit your amber, etc. in there as well. So you could treat this as a deck box for two decks, or you could treat it as a deck box with a compartment for all of your tokens. That, ladies and gentlemen, is up to you. Again, it's fairly cheap and cheerful. That's the point. It is ridged on the back. These kind of deck boxes don't last forever. I've had them in other games. They do what they're supposed to do. They're a nice little budget option. They are not designed for everyday use for years and years. That's not the point. They're fine. You get what you want with these. If you're looking for cheap Keyforge style deck boxes, these will do you quite nicely. But maybe you want to go a little bit bigger. In which case, we've got the Keyforge deck book. Now, I believe there are, again, most of these, they all seem to come in red, blue and black. They seem to be the colours of choice. Now, I don't think we need to open these. I don't like all of them. But we do need to open one up and have a little bit of a look. So, props for presentation. And what we have here is a magnetic seal. Fairly strong. I'm loving that. Ah. And it's got a thank you card inside. Thanks for buying our product. That's quite nice. Now, inside. Yeah, faux. I want to say faux leather. It probably should say on it somewhere, shouldn't it? Nexo fibre surface and microfiber inner lining. And it fits a deck. It goes in quite nicely. Locks up. It's going to be fairly secure. One thing they've done really nicely here, and I have got my deck Wossy Heretic of the Underzone, sent to me by a lovely viewer. That person is awesome. And what you actually do is you put that on top of your deck, so that when the deck is closed, you can actually see the deck name and the houses poking out. I adore that they've done that. That is wonderful. For anyone that is wondering, there is actually a plastic film on the inside here, because otherwise water, etc. could get in. Now, there is actually a slot so that you can put it... Now, it's quite... When it's sleeved, that is stiff. That is quite stiff getting it in sleeved. You do get a better view, but then your Archon card there is underneath the plastic, which means you can spill water on it. My preference for this, because they're quite tight fitting in a sleeve, I would just leave it on top personally, so you don't spill the water in there. But they're lovely. I mean, look. This is the fancy one deck option. You want to fit one deck, you want to go a bit fancy, and these are beautiful, right? They feel nice, they look good, they're clearly high quality, they've got the magnetic stopper, they fit a deck. They don't fit any more, you ain't going to get your tokens in there, but if you're going for a fancy one deck option, it's these. If you're going for cheap one deck option, it's those. Cheap two deck or one deck with counters, those. Now, yes, there are plenty of other options made by plenty of other companies. And I can't really fault you if you want to go for one of those. But these are Keyforge products. Now, the cheapy ones, the little plastic acrylic ones, they're lovely. They're nothing special except for the stickers. They are lovely. The ones we just looked at, the deck books, they are very nice. But this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what gets me excited. This is the product where when it was announced, I went, oh, I shouldn't buy one of them. But I knew that I was always actually going to. These are the real premium option. These are the ones that people go, you know what? I really like Keyforge. And I'm quite serious about playing Keyforge. I'm going to treat myself. These are fancy, ladies and gentlemen. These are the fancy ones. I'm a little bit excited to see these. Now, they've gone kind of all out on the design of these. You'll notice that you've got key designs on the side there. Looking quite lovely. You've actually got a metallic key pressed in here. And it does actually, it's weird. It pokes out. And then you've got a hole there that kind of goes over it. So that's all fancy. You've got Keyforge kind of embossed, engraved on the top. Gamegenic on the back. Nothing on the bottom. And then you've got the keys on either side. It's like a giant cube. And then inside, you have another thank you card, which I find adorable. And what you essentially have is space for 3 decks. So we've got those ones with the inner sleeves. Slightly tight, but fit all right. The one without the inner sleeves fit a bit better. Ooh. Okay. Not quite as easy to go in as some, but we're all right. And then these are the ones in the Dragon Shield sleeve. So you fit 3 decks in there quite nicely. But then you've got... Oh. And what I love about this, it's actually got a foam insert which will fit the Keyforge chain tracker. Now, you don't have to. The foam insert comes out. Or does it? Yes, it does. So if you don't want to use the official stuff, you don't have to. You can just have a little tray. But if you want to use the Keyforge chain tracker, you can. What I will... Oh, what have I done wrong? What I will say is, you don't have a lot of room left over if you don't... If you use that for the Keyforge chain tracker, you don't have a lot of room left over. That is quite a small compartment. However, you could always just take 2 decks and then have one of these for your tokens. I have very little I can say negative about this. My only negative is, if you use the Keyforge chain tracker, it does take up the majority of the extra thing here. And you will need amber tokens and stun tokens and all of that. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is a thing of absolute beauty. If you want to treat yourself, I don't know if you can do much better than this. This is awesome. So, let's take the decks out and let's have a little bit of a chat about sleeves. This is one of the things people were very keen to find out about when looking at all these new products. I should say, if you're wondering about the designs, again, they're blue, they're red, they're black. They're all exactly the same. All of these products come in blue, red, and black. They are the colours du jour. So, sleeves. Design-wise, where are we looking? Ahaha. My Archon card. Right. They look like this. They are quite matte. They're not very shiny at all. They reflect the glare. I mean, in terms of streaming, they reflect the glare beautifully. Like, you do not have much glare on there like you do with some. So that's quite lovely. Yeah, so if we compare them to the Ultra Pro there. Oh, no. There we go. The Ultra Pro glares a fair bit more, I would say. Yeah. So, I'm in favour of that. In terms of design, stop me if you've heard this one before. Now, there are actually blank ones here, But other than that, you got blue, red, black, yeah? That's what you get. They're your options. The inner sleeves are particular Keyforge sleeves. There's no markings. They are just completely plain inner sleeves. Now, what I find kind of interesting, and you pretty much saw this as we were going through looking at the deck boxes, but the difference in size of the sleeved and unsleeved is very small. These have got the inner sleeves, these haven't. There's not a huge difference in terms of size. There is a difference, obviously, you got more sleeves, but it's very, very slight. In terms of using the inner sleeves, the corners end up getting marked a little bit if you're not careful. And I like having the inner sleeves covering the top. Could not get that rolling with these. Could not get it rolling where I put the inner sleeve on, upside down essentially, and then put them in so the card was completely covered. I've done that with other inner sleeves. I couldn't get that rolling with these. That is one criticism I'll give you. In terms of shuffling, I love them. I absolutely love them. Now, I've not been able to play hundreds of games with these. I've not been able to prepare too much because they arrived in the post today. I've played with them a bit, and what I'll tell you is they shuffle nicely and I like them. Now, I've never been too picky. What I will say is Ultra Pro sleeves, the first time, and I've barely shuffled these red ones are barely shuffled. And what I will say is, try doing that of a new deck of Ultra Pro sleeves. If anyone's ever done it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's, yeah, they go everywhere. In terms of shuffling compared to Dragon Shield and Ultra Pro, these are the Dragon Shield, I believe, and they're a little bit stiffer. I've been using Dragon Shield lately. They're fine, all right? They're fine. I'm fine with Dragon Shield. I have no huge problem with them. Ultra Pro, I used to use a lot. Ultra Pro are too slidey for me. And they are significantly slidier than the other two. So, yeah. I mean, I have no huge issue with any of them. But I would say Ultra Pro are a little bit too slidey. I would say the Dragon Shield are fine. The first two lots of Dragon Shield I had terrible quality control problems. Since then, I've had no issues. But I have had quality control issues with Dragon Shield in the past. These ones, I'm going to go for these ones because they got Keyforge written on them and I'm a sucker. I like them for shuffling. I cannot talk too much about the durability. I can tell you that they've held up to a couple of games. And that's good for me. That is about the most I can tell you. I love the quality of them. I love that the double sleeving doesn't make them too big. They are slightly more awkward to shuffle double sleeved, but that might just be because my hands aren't used to it. I like them for shuffling. I'll be honest with you. Maybe after 50 games things change. I cannot talk to that specifically. But I can tell you that I have no issues with the shuffling. I love them being beautiful. In terms of whether they're worth it cost-wise, that really is up to you and how much you're willing to pay. I love, absolutely love the chain trackers. I think they're beautiful. I adore them. I honestly think everyone should get one of the chain trackers. I love the vaults, but I understand that they are not the cheapest option. The deck book are great. They are fancy. They fit a deck. They don't do anything more than that. They fit a deck. And you can see the houses and you can see the name and that's lovely, but they fit a deck. That is what they do. That is their purpose. In terms of the little ones, the Aries and the Gemini, if you want a nice Keyforge branded option, these are cool. I personally would go for these. I don't like having, if you've got like 50 decks and you want to put them all in their own deck box, these are what to go for. These, I like these. I like that you can take 2 decks if you're not sure. Or you can take 1 deck and the tokens. And what I really love is, if you're in a triad format, 2 of these, 3 decks and your tokens. Just putting that out there. Of course, if you are in a triad format, so there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the Gamegenic products. If you've got any specific questions, chuck them down in the comment section. I will try and make an extra special effort to answer any of the questions which are coming up in the chat, in the comments, and get back to you about them. I love them. I love that there is a company making official Keyforge products. These are not cheap, quick knock-ups. These are not things that have been done in 5 minutes. What I really appreciate about these, I'm not naming other games, I like a lot of card games. You all know that about me by now. Sometimes the official products are, this is what we always make, but we've printed the logo on. You could make that argument about these, although the fact that they've gone for the 2 and put the thing in, I don't know if you could. You cannot make that argument about stuff like this. I'm a fan, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a fan. I'd like to know what you think. I'd like your questions, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games like Keyforge. Shout out to the lovely Rachel Trimble from Rachel Game Store for hooking us up with the products and allowing us to review them. She's not getting a Mars chain tracker back. I've told her this. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays. Bye.